Right, so the transfer window is over. It is done. And as a Liverpool fan, it's been quite a frustrating one. Let's talk about that. So those of you who are long-standing members of this channel will know that I am a Liverpool fan. I don't, talk about it all the time. Obviously I have my Football Manager videos, but I don't really talk about football too often. Quite frankly, it's because it's quite a hostile environment, isn't it? But with that, I still have affiliations with Liverpool. I still care about Liverpool, and I still want to see them do well. And after watching this transfer window and watching Arsenal spend 130 million, see Chelsea sign Lukaku, see Jack Grealish go to Manchester City, and see Cristiano Ronaldo go to Man United, and we got Konate. We finally got a replacement for Lovren. That is what he is. He's a better replacement for Lovren. That is what he is. Lovren went, we had centre-back issues last year, we had to play our kids, and one or two weren't ready. We had to sign a few, and then didn't play the people that we signed. Sorry, Ben Davis, I apologise. But yeah, because of those centre-back issues, Klopp took it upon himself to get a centre-back, and Konate was the guy. And RB Leipzig are a great team. They're a solid defensive side as well. And do you know what? He's a good signing. He's a good signing. But he should have been alongside another big signing. And with Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man United spending money, even Tottenham have spent a decent amount of money. I'll check it now. Yeah, Tottenham spent 60 million this season, and that was on 3 players. They also got in a couple of loans from Atalanta. Do I believe they are good enough to be top contenders in the Premier League with their signings? No. But does it still stand that we've barely spent any money and everyone else has? Yes. And that is what bothers me, is the fact that we spent 36 million this season, but we spent it on one player. We got rid of the likes of Harry Wilson. We got rid of Anuwai. I can't really pronounce his name, I apologise. But we sold him to Hertha Berlin. Shaqiri went for about 5.4 million. Anything that we got for Shaqiri was a bonus because we got him on a free transfer. Grujic is finally gone after years of being a failure. Wijnaldum ended up leaving on a free transfer. We never replaced Wijnaldum. Do I feel like we needed to? No. But Wijnaldum was a big part of our team, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him. He was a big part of this team. So, should have we replaced him? Maybe. Maybe we should have replaced him. I personally believe that Curtis Jones is the man to replace Wijnaldum, and maybe we move the Thiagos up the pecking order, we move the Keitas up the pecking order, we move the Harvey Elliott up the pecking order. But with that, are you relying too much on your youth? That is a question. Ben Davis was sent out on loan. Ben Woodburn we sent out on loan. Reece Williams we've sent out on loan. I would have preferred Reece Williams to have gone to a Premier League club, but Swansea, a high championship side, it's still good to see what he can do. Ojo has gone out on a loan. Again, I think we're getting to the point now where we might need to sell Ojo. And Kabak left us after his loan spell with us and has ended up going to Norwich on loan again. But this is where the crux of the problem is. If I show you this graphic now, you can see the total transfer fees spent by every single club during this summer. As you can see at the top is Arsenal, followed by United, City, Chelsea, and you keep going lower and lower and lower until you see Liverpool. We've spent less money than Leeds. We spent less money than Leicester, less money than Tottenham, less than West Ham, less than Villa. And quite frankly, That's not good enough. Now, don't get me wrong. If I was in a position where I sat here and went, similar to Chelsea, right? Chelsea have spent 100 million this summer, but their net spend is like 3 million. They've barely spent any money whatsoever in total because they've sold a lot of their players. They sold some important ones. They've sold Abraham, Zuma, Tomori, Victor Moses. All of those they've decided to sell. Giroud. They've gotten rid of a lot of the bulk of their squad to get in someone like Lukaku. And, fair play. They managed to get someone like Lukaku in, and a brilliant striker. Personally, I'm not seen much of him. I've heard he was really good in Serie A, but from what I saw in the Premier League, is he that 100 million quality? I don't know. But that's what's going to be interesting, is seeing that. And, you think what? Leeds United have spent 53 million this summer. 53 million. And do you know what their net spend is? 53 million. They've spent 20 million more than Liverpool. And the worst part is about Liverpool is our net spend is actually only 11 million. So technically, Leeds United have spent 40 million more than Liverpool. A team that didn't even finish in the European spots. Don't get me wrong, they had an incredible season. But they didn't even finish in the European spots. And yet Liverpool don't spend the money that we've generated. Now, this is going to then go back to the whole Super League thing. Because the Glazers, right, and do not get me wrong, they have not made up for what they have done to that club one bit. But do you know what the Glazers have done? They've managed to get a lot of neutral fans on their side. And I say neutral fans as in like the non-hardcore fans. The hardcore United fans are still not happy and they're pissed. But the United fans that maybe do not know the history of the club, maybe are a bit more of a casual fan. The Glazers have brought in Ronaldo, brought in Sancho, brought in Varane, and gone, there you go. Enjoy these world-class players on our pitch. Buy our shirts, buy this, buy this, buy this. They know full damn well what they're doing. They have tried to get the fans on their side again after mucking up. City have spent money again this season. They just always do. Same as Chelsea. Chelsea have been very smart this summer. Do I agree with a lot of their sellings? No, but they've been reasonably smart. Arsenal needed to do something this summer. Number one, they pissed off their fans. Number two, they are doing shockingly bad at the moment. And the funnier part is they've spent 130 million and I could not tell you one player that they've brought in and I genuinely think is of a world-class ability. Even with that 130 million spent, I still don't think their squad is good enough to finish in the top 7. I still don't. Even with that money spent. That is poor business management. But we'll go back to the whole Glazers FSG thing, right? Because obviously, as I said, the Glazers did exactly what they needed to do. Get as many fans back on their side as possible. The most frustrating part about this, FSG haven't even tried. They haven't even tried to get us back on their side. Like, that's what baffles me so much, is that, you would think FSG with, what they did and all of that, and the same as all the other owners of all these other clubs have tried to do something smart for business. Mainly Daniel Levy's smart for business management was getting the fans to turn on Harry Kane and not him. He tried to keep Harry Kane, and in the end, he kept Harry Kane. So he did his job. FSG haven't tried. They haven't even tried. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to fully blame FSG here because Klopp is very much the type of manager where if he doesn't get the ones he wants, he'll write a list of 5 or 6 names, and if he doesn't get the ones he wants, that's it. He'd prefer to spend no money at all than spend money on a player that he doesn't necessarily want. And in a way, that's a good thing. But in many ways, that's not. Because I put, in my Premier League predictions video, I put Liverpool to finish second. Number one, I genuinely believed we might have got someone else. Just one other person would have been nice. And spent about 50-60 million. That's what I kind of expected. But we didn't. I also didn't expect Chelsea to spend the way they have and then get a couple of loans in and all of this to really bulk out their squad. Wasn't expecting that. I mean, I was expecting Lukaku, but I don't think he'll fire off straight away. But they've still managed to bulk out their squad. I still feel like they might finish below Liverpool, but I definitely feel now United will finish above Liverpool this season. And it pains me to say, but I genuinely think they will. They've got a cracking squad. One hell of a squad. Let's be honest. Ronaldo, Varane, Sancho, that's just the signings. That's not including Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. They've still got two quality goalkeepers in De Gea and Dean Henderson. They've got an amazing youngster in Greenwood. And yet, they've got that complete squad, and I still aren't fully satisfied with Liverpool's squad. Don't get me wrong, you look at our first 11, right? Our first 11 is as good as anyone else in the league, maybe apart from Manchester City, and we might even be there. I believe that the first 11s of the top 4 are roughly on the same quality as everyone else, like is each other. But I do not feel as though our squad is. United will have to drop 1 or 2 people. Cavani might have to start on the bench. Edison Cavani, who played multiple games last season, scored many, many goals, and was highly influential into Manchester United's season. Yeah, he might be on the bench. Then you possibly might have Rashford on the bench, or you might have Martial on the bench. You've got the likes of maybe Scott McTominay on the bench. These are the names that were starting last season. And now they're not good enough to make their first team. City have brought in Grealish. Do I think they needed Grealish? Not at all. But let's be honest, I've spoken about the fact that Manchester City are massively monopolising football before. But even with the signing of Jack Grealish, that puts Sterling's position in the team in question, puts Foden's position in the team in question. And it's freshened up that squad. Liverpool haven't freshened anything. I still believe Matip will play above Konate. And I might not even be pronouncing that right, but that's how I'm pronouncing it. He might not even start. So technically we haven't even improved our first team. No, what you want is to improve your first team, drop one of your first teamers maybe to the bench, and transition this team forward, and maybe you have them two fighting it out for a position in the team. One being on the bench, one starting. And maybe we'll have that with Konate. Robertson's got it now with Tiscamas, but let's be honest, that only happened because of an injury. He didn't even play last season. Barely played last season. Basically, in short, before I rattle on way too long, Liverpool haven't done enough this summer. Liverpool are in a fight this year. Liverpool are going to have to fight. Because if we want to challenge for that title, we're going to have to compete with 2 or 3 other teams who have improved not only their squads but their first 11s. That's nerve-wracking for me. And that puts our position in question as to how much we can mount a challenge. Do I still believe in the squad? Because I believe that Klopp has a lot more belief in Jota to play alongside Salah and Mane. Yes. Yes, I really do believe we will mount a challenge. But is it good enough? I don't know. We've got an exciting squad. But when I look at that bench, and I look at it and I go, who can we bring on? Who can we bring on if we're struggling to really improve the team? And the best person we've got there is Firmino. And let's be honest, he's not the most trustworthy of strikers. This has been a frustrating window. Hopefully, Klopp and the team pull out some magic and really show what they can do this year. But I'm not quite sure what'll happen. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. Put those down in the comments down below, whether you're a Liverpool fan or not. You know, if you're not a Liverpool fan, put down comments down below. Number one, do you think that Liverpool have done enough? And number two, how did your team do during the transfer window? Was it like a Villa who've had a very successful one, even though they've given up their best player? You know, I want to hear your thoughts on the transfer window down below. Hit that like button if you like this video and want to see more videos like this where I talk a bit more in depth about my thoughts on football, my thoughts on maybe wrestling, or, you know, other stuff, films, TV shows, whatever it is. If you want to see more stuff like this, do hit that like button to show me that you have enjoyed it, and comment down below what you believe I should then do in the future. And if you're new here, please do subscribe, because I've got a lot of stuff on the channel you'll probably enjoy if you have enjoyed this video. And yeah, I shall see all of you in the next video. See ya! Liverpool have their work cut out, don't they?